Whew. Whew. Whew.
Hey,
Oh, what are you doing?
I'm playing with the color sliders. It seems we've messed up our color on the camera, so I'm trying to fix it. You realize there's a better way to fix that, right?
What?
There's a better way? Yeah, you just take a color card and you hold it in front of your face and you wiggle it around a little bit before the take, and then that's all you have to do. Yeah, we can fix it in post. I'll show you how. Alrighty, so we're inside Vegas Pro 17, and all I've done is I've hit Alt-G to pull up the color grading panel here, and we're going to fix the color grading. And I want to tell you that I'm using a DKK card. That card is extremely important to this process. However, I bought something really cheap. There are lots better cards out there, and I'm not going to lie, they're better. However, having any kind of gray card, right, like this, is going to help you make the kinds of decisions you need to make for color grading. So this card isn't like, there are some definite issues with this. First off, it doesn't have as much shine guard, and it might not be the 100% true colors of gray and things like that like they're supposed to be. So I wouldn't, if you're working with other professionals on anything of value, definitely get a better card. I will link that as well. So there'll be a link to this in the description. If you get it through my affiliates link, that helps me, and if you get the nicer version through the affiliates link, that also helps me. But I want you to know that this card is important. So before we do Alt-G, first I want you to hit Event Pan Crop, this little button right here, and I want you to zoom in on your color card. We're going to get rid of this later. This is just to fix the effect here. So you're going to see one of my challenges is I actually got a cookie cutter effect going on. I'm going to solo this track just so you can't see the rest of the cookie cutter effect, and I want to make sure that you can see the entire card right there. And my next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to, so this little fuzz line on my cookie cutter, I need to get rid of that. So going to get rid of the feather on the cookie cutter. That's my own personal problem. Okay, so now we're going to fix that. So go back into Event Pan Crop. You need to hit Mask, and you need to create a mask. I have a more detailed tutorial about masking. This is really just a simple, you want to create a mask keyframe here and grab the masking tool and zoom in. You can move it around with this tool right here. You can move it around, zoom in, and grab inside the boxes. Don't get any other color. Just grab the color you need right there. So that is your white to black. Now you can see several problems with this, right? This is black. This is actual black. This is what you think your camera thinks actual black is. So we're probably gonna have to fix that. This is white. If you don't remember 8th grade science, white is all of the colors, and gray is lessening of all of the colors stepped. And so white being all the colors, and gray being a lessening of all the colors and steps, and black being none of the colors, we'll actually have a nice little stair step that we can color correct to and get all of our colors looking good very quickly. So now once you have this, then you need to hit Alt-G. Now we're ready to color correct. And there's lots and lots of things here, and these things are awesome because they tell you where your problems actually are. So first, this is the vector scope. It tells you red, magenta, blue, cyan, green, and yellow. And the closer you are to the center, the closer you are to white, all of the colors. We want to be in the center because we should always have an even amount of every single color. But obviously we're not, right? The way I shot this shot, as you could see in the picture there, it was very blue tinted. I did that on purpose. So the blue and the green are overrepresented, and the red is underrepresented. Why? Because it goes away from red, that means it's underrepresented, and towards blue and green, which means blue and green are overrepresented. That's extremely important because that's how we're going to fix this. So one thing I do want to note, I'm giving you the basics. This is the intro. So if you're looking for ultra advanced color grading, this isn't the exact video. I will have more videos about more details about color grading and color correcting and things like that. But this is just trying to get our gradients on the right scale there. So if you look at the RGB parade, what this does is this just lines up all the red values, all the green values, and all the blue values here. Now, a perfect representation of blue values is up here, and black is down here. So white, black, if everything is up at the top together, it's white. If everything's down at the bottom together, it's black. Now you can see these are off. The red doesn't stair step at the same rate as the green. It doesn't stair step as the same way as the blue. And that is a problem. That confirms what we see over here. So the thing I think is most helpful is let's just view them all right here. This shows you the stair step. See how wide those are? They should be kind of lines, not big wide patches. They should be like a line stair steps. And here we can see you might already have it turned to luminance. You got to understand first, in a histogram, this is your blacks. Now, the reason why there's so much of a spike right there is because most of the screen is black. And this is our whites. Look at how not white the whites are, because the white could be as bright as this. Anything over this is overexposed in a normal standard color value kind of shot, not a high dynamic range. In a normal dynamic range, anything above this is lost. It's just bright, too bright to differentiate the colors anymore. So you don't want anything brighter than that. And sometimes you might want to crush your blacks though, because sometimes it looks nicer to have all your blacks smushed together. But now you'll be actually able to see what you're doing there, and you can kind of see the stair stepping going on. The problem is you got several problems because the white's supposed to be brighter too. So let's look at our colors. Let's look at them all together. Now you can clearly see the red isn't enough, the green is misbalanced, and the blue is too much. So let's go over here. So what we're going to use to fix this is the color curves, and you can also do this through tables or your color channels. But for what we're doing, we're going to have the best control through the color curves. And first, so blue's too high. I want you to select blue here. Now, this is the dark blues that are the blacks. This is the white blues that are almost white or white. So what we want to do is bring those down. We want to have everything kind of meet at some place they can agree on. And so we're going to bring blues down. We're just going to have them meet with the greens there. And so maybe we'll leave the greens still. We'll see if that works. So there's green. We're not going to touch it. We're going to select red. Once red's selected, you can actually bring red up. Now, red's already maxed, right? All the color values that are currently supposed to be present from the camera are represented here. Red is maxed out. So we have to kind of artificially push red up. So we can push red up to match. Now you can see here, this looks much more natural. That looks much more white. That looks much more black. This is much more of an expected color grading. So when I say grading, I mean like there's a gradient, there's a clear stair step. Like I said, these are more of a clear stair step. It's not perfect, right? It's not perfect, and we can do that. We can do some adjustments here. You can always select and unselect something to re-grab something. You can drop the greens down just a smidgen, right? Because they're maybe still just a touch too high. You see these little humps here too? You can kind of make the humps match a little bit if you want. Maybe we can crush it there and then go back to the blues and make that blue. Grab blue, and then we're going to grab this little. See, we're curving it. We're crushing the curves right here to make all the humps align. And there we go. So almost much better, but now our reds are still a bit overrepresented here. So we can go back to red, and we can kind of drop the max red. And again, the blue. Just grab the blue again. We just want everything to touch. Hit the max blue. Now everything's much better again. The green's still a little off. And you can continue to mess with this to get everything exactly like you want. The reality is you can actually do more detailed corrections in other ways later. For the most part, this is corrected. Now, this is not perfect, right? Because it should be able to be perfect. You should be able to have hump right there. All these little mountains should line up. And so the red, you know, like we can grab the red color correction and bring it up more there, and then crush it a little bit more, and then up a little bit more, and then crush it a little bit more. And it takes some practice. I think the best way to get used to this is you kind of get a sixth sense for what your corrections are going to do over time, and how it's going to work together. However, this there's some other things we can do later on to more perfectly fix this color correction, but you can clearly see here in this waveform composite, these are much better stair-stepped right there. These humps match, and look at this, everything's much closer to the center. This isn't perfect, but it's close. Let's see if we can tweak the red a little bit more. I really janked up this shot. I have a habit of trying to do things too hardcore for the tutorial to make it a simple tutorial. Let's crush the greens a little bit. Let's see this. Let's try and do that there, and let's go to the blues again. The blues, that makes the blues just about match. You can see this looks very much more real here. We can grab the lower reds here. With this little yellow dot, we'll move the color curves down. We can kind of crush the lower reds a little bit to match, and then crush these reds a little bit more. But once you get this is a lot closer. So now if you go to your event effects right here, you can hit color grading and you can uncheck it and see how blue that looks now comparatively, and look how all these are messed up. And then we check it back and you can see how everything's much more lined up. These are much more stair-stepped, and this is much more white to black. So the next thing we can do is just grab the levels effect. So let's go over here, hit L for levels, and I love this effect right here. Just grab the default, throw it on what you're correcting, and you can crush the blacks to where this black disappears with the rest of the blacks, and you can bring up the whites to where everything kind of has a better spread over the histogram. And look at that, you got white to grays, there's no blues or weird colors in there. That is pretty well color corrected. Let's take a look at how this looks in comparison. Now, like I said, this isn't perfect, and there are things you can do to make it a perfect color correction, and we're going to talk about perfect color correction, color grading later, but this will take a janked up shot and make it much less janked up. So we're going to open this again, we're going to delete the mask, and we're going to delete this pool here, and then we can see the non-color corrected shot next to it. Let me exit out of here, go up on the timeline. I'm gonna hit Alt G again to close the color corrector so we can see what we're doing a little bit more. And you can unsolo this. Look at that. That's a very, very, very big difference. Alright, so I'm going to keep fixing this shot up. It's a little more complicated because I'm doing my twin effect thing here as well. And a cloud moved over the shot, even though I didn't change the lighting or the camera, because I do have a big window that I try not to fight the light for. But thank you so much for watching. Like if this video helped you out. Subscribe if you're looking for more videos like this one. Soon we're going to go into more details about color correcting and fine-tuning colors and color grading. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.